Hey everyone, it's Mira B, a founder of Unbroken Consulting and an approved follow-up boss consultant. In this video, we're going to be talking about Automation 2.0. We will cover everything that you need to know about Automation 2.0, from what is Automation 2.0 in the first place, how it works, how is it going to affect my previous action plans, what are the best practices, and how I'm going to use it moving forward. So we're going to be covering all of these questions for you in this video. And I'm going to be walking you through from step one to from A to Z of how everything from the process of upgrading to the very end of using it. And yeah, so a little bit about us. We are Unbroken Consulting. We work with real estate agents and teams and help them build and set up unbroken, strategic, customized follow boss setup. So this is what we do. And if you're ready, let's dive deep into Automation 2.0. So what is Automation 2.0? Automation 2.0 is kind of like a migration or combination between action plans and automations. So in the past, in order for us to create an action plan, we used to create an action plan first of all the steps, and then we would go to automation and build our automation with the trigger and the condition and the action. Right now, we kind of combined both of them together in one place where you are building both of them at the same time. Let me share my screen and walk you through how it works. So in the past, I'm going to show you, I have two accounts, so I'm going to be moving between one account and the other to show you how it was set up in the past. So in the past, it was action plans. You would click here, you would name it, you would create your email, change a stage, add a note, you would add all your steps in here and then make sure that you have the timing and everything. And then once it's done, you save it and then you go to automation and say hey, when that action happened, when a tag is added, for example, and let's say phone number is good, activate this action plan, whatever action plan you have set up. And then you would name it and then you would save and enable. So that was the old way of doing it. Let's call the old way Automation 1.0. Now with Automation 2.0, what happened is, this is how it looks like. So once you start upgrading, and I'm going to walk you through the process of upgrading and how it works, but you will no longer have access to adding action plans from here. You will still be able to see your action plans and view it, but not necessarily make any changes to it. Okay, so Mira, how would it work? How would I make changes? We will go to automations, and then basically this is where you would have all your action plans and automation all in one place. So let's say create an automation. If I click on that one, this one is similar to what I just showed you here. So similar to here, adding the tag and the trigger and the condition. So, so this is the trigger, okay? And then we have here, I could add a condition if I wanted to. So I'm gonna add something here, and then I'm gonna add, this plus action usually is the action plan that we previously created. Here, it's going to change. Here, we're going to build the action plan inside of the automation. So I will start with adding a time delay, let's say 1 day, and then I'm going to start adding the email that I want to send and select the template and then keep going through it. So it's basically building action plan and automation in one place. So it's a great thing that it's all now in one place. I'm going to show you some of the best practices, but let's go a little bit to the back of okay, Mira, how do I upgrade to Automation 2.0? So Automation 2.0 is not open to everyone right now. It's just they are rolling it batches by batches and giving it to people. So there should be a link, which I remember, I think Janelle posted that before, but we can ask her about it and make sure that we post it. But basically it you just submit your email and tell them that you want Automation 2.0, and they will start rolling it for you as well. But when you're ready to have Automation 2.0, let's say this is your old account. Near your old account, you'll find here something that says upgrade to Automation 2.0. One important thing that you need to know about Automation 2.0 is that it's an undone steps. What that means is if you go to upgrade to Automation 2.0, you can't go back to Automation 1.0. And think that as we go and as like they keep developing the software, no one will be on automation 1.0. They will keep developing it so everyone gets to automation 2.0. But we will see. This is not 100% sure. But this is something for you to be aware of, is that once you upgrade, you cannot really go back and say like, I want to go back to the old way of doing things. All right, so you should find here like a button right here that says upgrade, and it's gonna give you some steps of like, hey, when you upgrade, you cannot really undo this step. Here are some of the stuff that you need to know about. Okay, if I'm migrating, if like the question of like, okay, I want to upgrade and I'm ready to do it, but what is going to happen to my previous action plans? So the great thing about it is that FollowPass will migrate all your action plans that you already have, migrate it into automations for you automatically. So you wouldn't have to rebuild the whole thing or worry about it, or FollowPass will do that for you. Now, with that, something to be aware of. Let me share that step. Let's say I said, I'm ready, please upgrade, and then migrate all of my action plans. Once you click and say yes, you will be able, now your view will be like this one. So you'll find your automations, and then you'll find this folder that says migrated action plans. So migrated action plans is all the previous action plans that you had, and now they have migrated it into the automation 2.0. Well, Mira, this is awesome. This will save us a lot of time. Yes. But there's something to be aware of, is that, so this is one of the migrated action plans that I had. The first action will always be manual. So this is the trigger. So in triggers, we have multiple things. We have stage change, tag added, deal stage change, inquiry, property viewed, calendar, and appointment. Looks great, right? This is what we already had on automation. But remember, there was an action that you could actually manually apply an action plan to a lead. So this is what they mean by manual. So manual is applying that action plan to a lead manually. So now with the buyer guide, for example, I need for this action plan and the emails and the tags and all these steps to be triggered, I need to apply manually. Now, once the migration happens, all your action plans will only have this manual part. Like here, let's say buyer terminated, like the manual part, like it will be manual, all will be manual. So that means that it will only be triggered when you apply, like when you go to the lead, and I can show you an example. When I go to the lead and then I click on automation and then I apply manually, like I apply this action plan manually. Okay, so this is something to be aware of. It's great to have this action. It's great to have this option. What I would recommend for you is that you will need to go all through your action plans and make sure to add that trigger. So like, let's say for the buyer guide, for me to send the buyer guide, I had a trigger that when a tag is added, let's say buyer, for this to be triggered. So you would want to make sure that you add all the additional triggers that you previously had, whether this is with any of these. I would highly recommend making sure that you add these tags because that will be the manual step and this will be the automation step. So this is something very, very important to be aware of. So Mira, how would I remember? How would I know? So one thing that I recommend for my clients is taking a screenshot of your previous, so this is the previous automation that we used to have. So taking a screenshot of your previous automation will help, just so you're aware of the condition of the new property. I don't know if you could do like this and then copy and paste, so just so you know, like the name, the trigger, the conditions, just so you have these steps. I think it will be good, and just like put it in a spreadsheet or take a screenshot, whatever works for you. But save it, and then when you migrate, at least you will have these data to be able to know, like, oh, for this buyer guide, I had this tag to be the trigger. I had that condition to be like this is a specific condition for it to be triggered, things like that. So this is what I highly recommend for all of you, and it's something that we also do for our clients and help them with it. It's just like making sure that when you migrate, everything is migrated properly and we're not missing out anything. So this is something to know. All right, so I'm gonna save and exit. Now question number, so we covered what is Automation 2.0, how to migrate it or upgrade, what will happen to your previous action plans. So now we know that they will all be in that folder, which is a great thing by Follow Up Boss that they are doing. Now that we have it, what are the main features, or Mira, how I'm gonna use it? So basically, now we will be using it, like we will be building action like automations from here. So let's say I'm gonna call this a test, and then when you build it, you will see repeat this automation, so it can be repeated or not, and post this automation when the lead responds, which we most likely want this to always have this, especially if you're communicating with leads. Now the trigger, I would highly recommend having the manual trigger plus. So the manual trigger, you see here, it starts automation by hand. So it starts the automation by hand when you actually manually do it. And then the other thing that I would add, so I would come here and then add like whatever stage that you have and then add it here. So what are the triggers that we have? We have tag added, so stage change, which we used to have. Tag added, we used to have that. Deal stage change, if you want to do something specifically about the deals, which I don't think we had it previously. Yep, we had it previously. Yeah, we had this previously. Query, so we had this as well. Property saved, property viewed, we had this. Calendar date, a lot of people use this when there's a birthday or closing anniversary or something like that. So they use it. And then a new feature that they added, this one was not there before, but it's specifically for appointments. So start an automation when an appointment is added to your calendar. So the trigger could be when it's created, or at the time of the appointment, or before the appointment, or when appointment outcome is something certain, like it's specifically about something. So this is huge because a lot of people, like for example, I have clients that wants to send specific emails like preparation before the appointment. So what would we use this to be able before the appointment of like one day, we would like, and then we select the type and we would like select like, let's say it's one day. Okay. And then it looks good. This is the trigger. And then we would have like an email that is being sent out to them, like letting them know what are the next steps or what we're going to do tomorrow. You have multiple options when appointment outcome is, so when the outcome, when you are done with the appointment and outcome of like listing obtained and you want to trigger, so I'm going to remove that one, and you want to trigger an email to be sent out, or you want to trigger like a tag or a task that is being added for, let's say you want to send a task and let them know that the listing has been obtained. Let's send the listing agreement, for example. Like you could have that, and you could have like multiple steps of what does that look like. So great feature, in my opinion. I love it. And I think it could be used in a lot of different ways. So I would highly recommend checking this one out. Now, once you have the steps, you find it like, once you have the triggers, you'll find it like shifting to the steps right away. So I would recommend if you need to use conditions. So let's say some people want to make sure that it's being like the agent need to be the specific person, or the phone number need to be good. Whatever condition you used to have previously on automation, feel free to use the same thing. So in that case, I could just use the phone. And then here is what you need to be aware of. There is no way that we can delay. So in a previous way of building action plans, we used to have the time delay. So we used to have the time delay right here. You could say like right away, the next day, the second day, things like that. For this one, you will need, for the Automation 2.0, you will need to drag the time delay and let them know like, hey, I want this to be delayed like 1 day or 1 hour, 1 minute, which is also pretty awesome because in the past we used to have it as 1 day, only in days, but now it could be in hours. So let's say we don't want to send them the email right away. We want to send them the email like after 2 hours, for example. So we could do that after 5 minutes. That would be incredible. So a lot of like third-party integrations used to have these features. Now Follow Up Boss provide you with that, which is I think is huge. So let's say delay 5 minutes and then send an email. And then you start, like, it's a drag and drop. This is the great thing about it. So it's just like you drag and drop like the actions. So let's say we want to send email. So what you will do is that you will click here, you select the template that you have if you have it already. If you don't have it, you click here, you build your own templates, you make sure you share it with everyone if needed, you make sure you have it in the right folder, and then you click save. So for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna pick a random template. And then if you need to assign it to an agent or a bond or a team, you could do that, where it's coming from. And then they have added some great features. So recipient preferences, so send to primary contact only or send to contact and all relationships. So remember with Follow Boss, we used to have actually, I could just show you something. So this is kind of a contact, and I could have a relationship being added here. So this is basically telling you, do you want it to send that primary contact or you want it to send to both of them? Because if you have a husband and wife and you want to send it to both of them, you now have the option to do this. Also, you have the option to have for delivery preferences. So you could send it immediately, and it wouldn't really matter the working hours at that point, or you can send it between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m., or you could send it during company office hours, which probably in your settings, or you could send it at a custom time. Like you could have like weekdays or weekends, or like maybe Monday or something, a specific day at a specific time. So great feature. I love it. Love it. You gotta check it out. So this is with the emails that I wanted to show you. You could also have all different features. So you have reassign to agent or lender. So I could just drag and then reassign. You have add collaborators, which we used to have in the past. So this is not very new. Remove collaborators, adding certain tags. So you can just like drag and drop and select the tags that you want. You could change remove tag, create a task. So if you want to create a specific task and make sure whether it's call, email, text, showing, closing, open house, like whatever the task option is. Also please make sure that you always add the time delay between each one of those. So you're just aware. If you don't add the time delay, everything is going to happen at the same time. So if you want everything to happen at the same time, that's perfect. Do it. If you need to make sure that like you have a delay, you don't create the task, like you create the task the 3rd day or the 5th day or whatever that is, you just add it here. You could add stages. You could add a note, which note most likely if you have an integration partner for texting, you will need to you would add your notes from here, and then you would, if you need to notify someone, you could notify someone. You could pause all action plans. You could pause automation. So this is gonna pause, you could pause all automation. So this is a new feature of pausing all automation or certain automation. If it's actually being triggered on them, you could actually pause it. Same for the action plans. If you have previous action plans and stuff like that, you could do the same. Run automation. So run automation if you want to run at the end, for example, you want to run a certain, which I think I just deleted. Oh, I didn't delete it. Good. Which is you could run a certain automation. So after everything that happened, you could run a certain automation. You could trigger another, where is it? I think it was just right here. Did I delete it or something? Okay. It was right here. I don't know where did it go. But anyway, okay, thank you. So let me see if I still have it. Here it is. Run selected automation. So you can run selected automation. This is if you already have a previous action plans and you have the trigger as stage changed, and I could just have it as a hot prospect, and then I want to run in automation. So I could just run a certain automation from the plans that I used to have. And then it will say continue running test after triggering this action plan, or pause test and resume. So this is a great feature. So this is what I'm talking about of of if you you have seen all the steps that we built, it just went away anyway. You've seen all the steps that we have built. It tells you like, do you want, so this is what I call test two. It asks you, do you want to continue running the test as well as the action plan, like the automation, like the buyer resale that we have, or you want to pause the test, whatever we have, and then keep running, only run this like action plan that we selected, the buyer resale pending. So this is great feature as well. And then you could import, it tells you that you could import all the steps from the selected action plans as well, to replace run automation. You could do that option if you wanted to. So great options. I think they are adding a lot of features. It's awesome. I'm liking it. They're giving us more flexibility with customizing like what we want to send, when we want to send it, and to who you want to send it. You could also, one thing I wanted to mention is that you could also delete a step from here, or you could delete it from right here, like if you wanted to delete it. One thing to know, like we talked, is that if you need to repeat that automation, you can click on that box, or automatically pause this automation when later spawns. You could do that as well. If you would need to make sure you save changes, and you would need, in order for it to actually work, you'll need to make sure that you activate it for it to work. Now, if I go back, so I just saved it, and then you could also create multiple different folders, which is great that we still have that feature. We didn't have that feature with automation, by the way. We had it only with action plan. So I think it's great that you would still be able to have this. If we go back here, you will, one thing I wanted to share with you is that you would be able to see action plans, but you wouldn't be able to select or add another action plans, because now we don't use action plans anymore. We use only automations, which has the action plans and automations at the same time. So in this one, I would, like, for example, for automation, if you want to apply something manually, you would need to click here, and then let's say style lead engagement, and then you apply it. So, and then if you want to pause it, you can click and pause. So this is another thing I wanted to show you. Okay, Mira, how about my lead flow? Like when the lead comes in, how would it work? So now you will be able to see, like, for example, this is like agent fire, and then you'll be able to see, instead of action plans, it used to say here action plans. Now it says automation. So I can click here, I can select whatever automation I want, and then apply it. Okay, now what if I want to do advanced settings? You'd still be able to do the advanced settings. You'd still be able to do the initial text message. So the advanced settings, if you wanted like to trigger certain action plans based on certain tags, that would be rule number 1. And then you select the right action plan that you wanted for that lead, and then you make sure that you hit save. So that was pretty much it about automation. I think it's a great tool. I'm gonna need to check with Janelle, because like I said, I know it's not rolling. They're not doing it for everyone. They are doing it for batch by batch, and then you are testing as well how people are using it to make sure that everything's working fine without any issues. So I know that there is like a link where you can, which I need to stop sharing. I know that there is a link where you can just like put in your email and let them know that you want to upgrade, and this way you can upgrade. So I'll check with Janelle. We'll make sure to share it with you in the YouTube description. What is the other thing I wanted to talk about? Yeah, so that was it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Let us know on my website, www.unbrokenconsulting.com. At the top right corner, you should be able to find like Ask Mira, and you could just drop your question in there for me. We also do offer helping our clients with the migration. I know that some people, they are very tech savvy. They know how to do it. They will do it themselves, or they have someone on their team that could do it. Some people, they don't have the time to do it, or they are not sure. They don't want to mess something up or anything like that. So if you need like someone to do that for you, we're here to do it. We are doing this for all of our clients right now. So feel free to reach out to us as well, and check with me. And if you have any other questions about it, just let me know. I'll be happy to help you and support you through this. I know that it may be a little bit confusing at the beginning, but if needed, feel free to watch the video again if needed, or send me any questions that you have, and we will make sure that we get you through this transition. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.